Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. We are here today with Jamie Warner, who is the CEO for Invarosoft. Hey, Jamie, how you doing today?
Very good. Thanks for having me, Scott. Great to be here.
Oh, always a pleasure to have you on the show. So, Jamie, you are not in Australia right now, are you?
No, I'm confusing everybody with my accent in Toronto. Toronto.
Okay.
I'm here for an ASCII event, so if anyone's going to ASCII Toronto, come and say hi or g'day.
Very cool. Very cool. So we are going to be talking about a few things from Invarosoft today. But before I get into what's new with Invarosoft, I want to ask you, what's the weather like in Toronto today?
It's actually pretty good. It's sunny.
Okay.
I don't know what the degrees are in Fahrenheit because I operate in Celsius, that sort of crazy one. But it looked like it was going to be a solid 20 degrees and sunny in Celsius. So solid. I don't know, maybe 60 or 70 Fahrenheit, somewhere in that range.
All right. I was going to ask you because I don't do the Celsius. I'm always a Fahrenheit person. So 20 degrees is about 70 degrees
Yeah. Right.
Fahrenheit. Very nice. Very nice. I could deal with that year round, actually.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, in South Carolina, it is 74 and sunny. So super
Perfect.
excited. Yep, it's also beautiful weather. So I understand that Invarosoft has acquired some other companies, made some important acquisitions that will help MSPs save on their stack.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I'm gonna do a wee presentation today, so I'll show everybody about it. Super excited to announce some interesting events and things that are happening in our world, and
Okay.
an acquisitions part of that, and some launch of some new products, which I want to show everybody about.
That sounds awesome. We are super excited to check it out.
Awesome. Now, should I share my screen?
Yeah, let's make sure that works.
All right, let's do it. Screen share. Let me know if you can see that.
Yes, sir. We are good to go.
Very good. Well, yeah. So, I guess for those that don't know about Envirosoft, keen to talk about a bit of a launch of a new product there that you can see. So we'll get stuck into that in a sec. But I guess for those of you that don't know me, I actually have been in the MSP game since 2000. I was 22, so people can do the maths on that one. Turning 23. And so I've really spent my whole commercial life running an MSP and living and breathing an MSP. It wasn't called an MSP in the early 2000s, I have to say, but obviously it's evolved to that. So really the story goes, I've been scaling that MSP over all these years. We've managed to get it to 60 staff, 5,000 devices under management, and we keep growing. So still have that business, and we've done that with no acquisitions, and really, I think have learnt the formula to ensure you get the best conversion of the leads that you get, and that from a service delivery perspective, I would argue my MSP is reaching a level of operational maturity. I don't think you ever get there. You can't claim you've got it nailed, but it's getting quite good. And I guess as part of that operational maturity journey, we did build internally a customer experience platform to have a much more modern way of interacting. So the traditional methodology is mouse pads and stickers that you give to clients, and we thought,
Right.
let's build an app and a client portal and all that sort of stuff. And after a period of time, probably about 2014, 15, I thought, I just don't understand why the big tool sets, so the PSA back in those days, were doing anything on the customer side. Like it really just is an email experience. And I thought, I'm going to give it a crack. So to help other MSPs improve. And so that's what we've been scaling, but things have changed, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a second.
Awesome. Well, I've got a question for you. Just a minute ago, you mentioned that it wasn't called an MSP in 2000s, early 2000s. What was it called?
No, we were just an IT support company. Yeah.
Okay, just basic IT support.
And managed wasn't a word either. It was just we do IT support, I guess, IT consulting, but mainly IT support. So yeah, even if you check on Google AdWords, anybody watching this that's doing Google AdWords still, IT support and IT services tend to be the main search terms to this day. So I guess somewhere
Awesome.
along the way, MSP came into being. It was probably, I don't know who coined that one, but that's what we call ourselves these days.
Gotcha. Well, listen, I don't think I've ever asked you this, and I've got the curiosity is there. How did you get into owning and starting up an IT business in the first place?
Oof, it's a good question. I guess I just finished uni in 1999. I went over
Okay.
to Canada, ironically, to go snowboarding, and I came back and I was like, I don't know what I feel like I should start my own thing. I don't know why. Just at that age, I just felt like I should. And I did notice that my parents had a recruitment business, and their IT didn't seem great. And one of my friends from school actually did IT. And I thought, well, maybe we could start an IT support business. So it was really my business. And it was a bit weird because I was kind of hiring my mate. So that didn't last too long. But then my brother came in after he finished university. And so it was really my brother and I that started it up. But it was really just a motivation to start your own business. And I thought this particular industry and needed something a bit different. It's why I called it e-nerds. I'd just done a marketing degree, and I thought, well, I know that's not really IT. I'm a bit weird as a business owner of an MSP because I'm not technical, but my brother is, and everyone around me is. So that's all that matters. But e-nerds was really an attempt to cut through and be a bit more memorable. I'd argue that I was a bit worried about the advent of like geeks to you and nerds on site and these sorts of things because we're not
Okay.
we are B2B and but I guess the lesson there is it doesn't really matter. I mean, having a good name counts, but when you do get a
Sure.
lead, how you present and how professional you are, that's probably where it really matters, and how your website looks and those sorts of things. So it served us well, and that was sort of the start of the journey. And it's been 24 years of learning since. So it's been a great ride. I've enjoyed it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you've built up a fantastic company. And did your parents ever take you on board to do the IT work? Did eNerds replace the current provider for your parents' business?
Absolutely. I don't know if they paid the bills on time all those years ago very well, but no, they did. But it was yeah, no, they were a big supporter right from the start, which is great. So
Awesome. I think my dad told me a long time ago, he said, I am your biggest client. I said, yes, you are.
yeah. You know what my dad did for me that was quite helpful was that in those early days, for those that have been around that long, there was no managed. It wasn't like a common thing. And I actually got my dad to get a quote from a really big IT services company at the time, and they were charging monthly fees. And that's when I realized, oh my God, that makes way more sense as a business model because all your
Hmm.
costs are monthly. So being break fix made no sense to me. Like even as someone with no experience, I was like, this I can't do the maths on this. Like everything's monthly in terms of the cost, but the money goes in and out like up and down. That didn't make any sense. So once I saw they were doing that after a year, I was like, yep, that makes more sense. So I started doing managed without all the tools, no RMM, no PSA, no nothing. We just manually were checking things from 2001. So really, I'd argue the model hasn't actually changed too much. The technology you use has, and those sorts of things, and your operational maturity, but the core model of just charging a monthly fee for your services hasn't changed too much.
Can you imagine if you had Invarosoft back then, the customer experience platform?
Well, I'll tell you guys this. I will tell you this. So I've been harping on about the importance of customer experience and showing a modern digital approach, and I'd say that the market hasn't they haven't come on the journey. It's still in early adopter territory, and it's a real shame because I have been saying that it is a massive way of differentiating yourself. And I actually stepped back in to help out for new business because we got so busy and my sales manager got busy. And so I've been helping out in that area and I've been killing it. I've been killing it in terms of signing up new business. I've signed up in the last 12 months, 70,000 a month in new support, would you believe? So it's a ridiculous number.
Wow.
And that is because I didn't win every deal. We've just had a lot more leads than we normally have through
Okay.
SEO and some other methodologies. But having a customer experience technology at my disposal to differentiate myself has been massive. So when I
Yes.
just want to go on this little diatribe, most clients when they're looking to outsource, are looking, obviously, they're not going from break fix to manage. They're actually going from one MSP to another MSP. So if that is the case, in most instances, they're looking for a step up in the service experience. They're not,
Exactly.
obviously, you don't get a, you had a girlfriend or boyfriend or partner or whatever it is, and you don't look for someone the same or less when you go for the next partner. It's the same for accounting or law or IT. You're looking for something better. So your only job in a sales sense, when you've got that opportunity to present, is to demonstrate a visible step up in service experience. And you need things that your tools, like your underlying tools of your business, is just, that's got nothing to do with it. I'm talking about service experience, service delivery methodology, and your service methodology at scale for most MSPs is mouse pads and stickers and pens and squidgy balls. That's how you're interacting with the customer, right? So if you
Okay.
go a digital experience and show a client portal and show all the reporting for Office 365 and devices and warranty and onboarding, offboarding forms and all this sort of stuff, and then you show them how you do your QBRs and everything else, they're like, oh, okay, I can see how you're going to deliver a step up in service experience. So, I've said it for 5 years. I'd argue the industry hasn't really caught on yet. But I'm milking that train and it is what it is. So for those that are a little bit more forward thinking in their mindset and want to have that step up, then certainly what you're going to hear about today is the sort of things you really want to look at, because it's going to help you accelerate your growth. So
And differentiate yourself from other MSPs.
yeah, and in terms of why do you need to differentiate? Well, if you want to bring it back to a metric, the reality is there's a lot of um, talk about and training and coaching about the number of leads you get, and pricing and packaging. There's a lot of coaching around that, but they don't really talk too much around conversion percentage. So if you are getting 4 leads and you ordinarily convert 1 out of 4 or 1.5 out of 4, and you can pump that up to 2.5, you're almost doubling your growth just through better conversion of the lead flow that you're getting. And I think
Sure.
that's super important to understand, is that you've got to do everything in your power to win more deals than you ordinarily could by tweaking how you present and all those sorts of things. Because yeah, it's hard to generate, millions of leads in our game. It just is what it is.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear about all these new companies under, was it companies per se? It's not
Products,
really
yeah,
company. Yeah, products. There
yeah,
you go. All these new
yeah,
products
absolutely.
under the Invarosoft brand.
Yeah, well, look, as I said, we started at customer experience and we sort of expanded from there. The market pushed us to build a few things, and then we also wanted to build things. So we've decided to almost relaunch the business from a one product business to a multi-product business. And really the whole idea is that we're trying to solve a few problems, I guess is important. Just to sort of backtrack a bit, is that we're trying to help you with what I was talking about with your customer experience, to modernize it,
Sure.
get off the mouse pads and stickers, helping you therefore improve growth by differentiating and then selling more. From a ticketing perspective, helping with the productivity around that. Email tickets are not efficient. You never get the right information. So feeding it through an app where you get type, subtype, screenshots, you're getting device diagnostics, you're getting forms filled in, huge for productivity. We're helping with the QBR process, improve that. And the big one is really this increasing stack costs and too many vendors. There's a lot of small MSPs out there that are trying to reduce cost, and there's a lot of vendors out there. So we're going to be helping in those areas. So when we look at the solution, the big announcement is, of course, one of them is that we purchased Alert Centric, which is a backup and alert reporting tool. So it doesn't have to just be backup. It can be anything that generates an email alert. You can basically centralize all those alerts and get a daily email that says whether certain products have failed or they haven't returned a response, etc. So it is a replacement for Backup Radar from ScalePad. There's not many in that category, and we thought it would be a good alignment, sorry, for our product suite. So that's the first exciting announcement. So that product is awesome. So we're super excited to get it as part of the suite. And the next thing is that we've launched finally Warranty Wizard. So for a long time, there has been essentially a monopoly on warranty reporting with ScalePad in the market, and they've done a wonderful job. But the problem is, of course, that there hasn't been a lot of options. Now, we were always getting pushed to produce warranty information as part of our CX product. So we've decided to commercialize that functionality and build it out so that it would be a comparable replacement for the ScalePad solution out there. So Warranty Wizard is where you get all your reporting for the devices and servers. We will be adding software. We'll be adding other things. So V1, this is version 1, and we'll keep working on it to ensure that it meets the requirements of the market. But yeah, really excited to bring this one to market and to give everyone an option. But we're doing it a bit differently. And I guess the interesting thing is now that with the advent of those two products, one bought and one launched, is that we now have basically this one platform, one unified platform with 6 products. So the first one, of course, I mentioned Warranty Wizard, Alert Centric, you're aware of. Time Master, it's an interesting one. That's also going up against the monopoly of Time Zest. So that's basically scheduling for MSPs. So it is similar to Calendly, if you've ever used Calendly.
Yeah.
But it integrates into the ticketing system. So you can book times with users. Instead of having a ping pong match going back and forth, you can basically say, look, here's a time. Which one do you want? Or here's my calendar. So you can pick certain times, or you can just open up your calendar a little bit for them to pick it. And then updates the meeting, like sends a meeting invite to each party, so the engineer and the user, and then updates the ticket with all the meeting information in there. So really helpful, quite a popular category, but again, only one option in the market. We've got Happy Sat, which is our customer satisfaction feedback product and Net Promoter Score product. And then we've got VCO Hero. We've had VCO for a while, but we've finally given it a name, the poor thing. So now people can call it something. And that's a wonderful product, which I'll show you in a sec. And then, of course, we've got the Invarosoft CX platform. So
Nice.
it is basically a relaunch with going from one product to these 6 products, which is pretty cool.
Well, you guys have put in a lot of work, that's for sure, because it is that's a well-rounded group of products under one platform.
Correct. And I guess that's the thing is when we look at it, we're helping with this sort of monopoly situation. So you can now get products that you ordinarily could only go to one vendor for. So I think that's super important to understand that. And we've created this concept of these Stack Saver bundles, which I'll talk to you about in a second. But we're coming to market to try and help. Like, I don't know if the market really knows this, but 80% of MSPs are 3 million in revenue and below, and 60% are a million and below. So we're all small businesses in the context of things, and so cost and consolidation is important. And that's probably the first big value, is just around consolidating the platform and consolidating your tool sets, I should say. So really enabling you in terms of, if you're using any of these other products, then now you've got this opportunity to kind of bring them into the one platform and consolidate. And interestingly, Scott, there was a report that came from the Datto State of the MSP report, as you can see there, and vendor fatigue is actually 74% of the respondents said that they'd prefer fewer vendors. We did our own survey about 18 months ago, and the stat we got, interestingly, was if you could consolidate the smaller tools under the one banner, would you? And 94% also said the same thing. So it was fascinating. In our survey, they were talking about just too many vendors, too many bills, too many portals to log into. Obviously, cost is a part of that, but it's not the only thing. It's the complexity of managing all these smaller tools. And so that's what we're trying to do, is just bring the smaller tools under the one hood, so you can get better bang for buck in that sense.
Nice.
So the other value, of course, is the customer experience side of things. I've already talked about it at the start. That's the case study, is my MSP. I keep milking that one. And you guys, I mean, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. And why do people not want to do it, or why at scale is it still early adopter? Because it's not, the category is growing, don't get me wrong, but it definitely isn't something that is seen as a must-have. I just think it's that a lot of business owners think from themselves out, not from customer back. And if we just go back to the concept of our type of business, I believe an MSP is a customer service business in technology. We're not a technology business. So, Invarosoft's a technology business, but eNerds is a customer service business. And if that's the case, it would stand to reason you start to put yourself in the shoes of the customer backwards. Would they want a one pane of glass themselves to see your service?
Mm-hmm.
I think if you ask most of them, they'll say yes.
I
right?
think
Like,
so.
here's what it is. But most MSPs don't think from that perspective. They think from their perspective, and they think customer experience is just doing the job. Well, it's not like that. That's not how you're going to differentiate. And customers do actually want better visibility. What is my roadmap? Where is my network diagram? Where, like, how many times do you have to produce a report for someone, telling them what Office 365 licenses they have so they can ratify who the subscriptions and all that sort of stuff? So it's all very painful for the customer to see anything. And that's why CX is so important. But interestingly, in that same thing, I couldn't believe it, in that same report, because it even just talking about customer experience as a terminology has really only been after years and years of talking about it. This survey, they've actually got a whole focus on it, which I've been shocked by, but it's just showing you the evolution. And interestingly, it's right at the top of the list, growing revenue, the same percentage, but certainly in terms of what are the priorities for MSPs, improving customer experience. So the priorities there, I'm not sure the market you don't have to obviously buy a software tool set to be the only thing that improves customer experience, but we do have to look at how we're digitally interacting with customers. So to me, it is kind of a big part of it, because otherwise it's just your voice at the end of the phone, an email, and a dude turning up in a polo from time to time in the odd advisory conversation. It's not a lot of interaction in that sense. Um, so it's all of those things that is customer experience, of course, but very interesting. So yeah, have a think about, for everyone on the call, have a think about what your requirements are. I guess, are you trying to reduce your stack costs? Are you trying to consolidate? Maybe you're trying to improve CX, or maybe you're just looking for an individual solution or a product. So yeah, I think that's where we can offer some value for you. So if you want me to, Scott, I can show you a little bit about the product. If people want to book a demo, I've got information at the end, but I can give you a bit of a snapshot if you want to have a look at it.
Sure, would love to see it.
Yeah, so if I just sort of minimize everything here, this is kind of where it all starts from the CX side of things. So when I'm actually doing a demo, I should say a new business call to a customer. So I actually end up doing like a mini demo. I put my like my eNerds hat, but I'm kind of doing a mini Invarosoft demo to the actual client, right? So when it comes time to demonstrating how we're going to interact with them, we talk about the fact that if it's urgent, you call, and if it's not urgent, you use our app and client portal, and we go through this whole experience, and we show that there's going to be this visible step up in the service experience. So this is what the whole app and client portal experience looks like. And you can see with the branding, we can really put your brand up in lights and make it a great experience there. And so people can come in and log a ticket, and there's self-service bots, and there's all sorts of things in here when you're doing that. So you can basically come in, and they can pick the ticket types. It syncs to the PSA, so all of that information is coming through. It could be a self-service bot. It could be an additional set of questions that you ask, and then they can take a screenshot of the issue in there, which is fantastic. You can have approval rules. You can have device diagnostics when they log the ticket. So you're getting the perfect ticket information versus email, which is not the perfect ticket in that sense.
And when the client emails or text or any other way to communicate with you that they want to open a ticket, you have to, your people on your side have to go in and actually input the ticket. They take what the client already gave you from whatever source, and then they've got to take the time as well to input it. This way, Invarosoft puts everything into your PSA. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
that saves time.
Yeah, and we do auto allocation and load balancing in my MSP because we've got the data, we've got the information to be more streamlined and strategic in terms of the workflow in that sense. And one of the updates we'll be doing in the next quarter is we will be redesigning the app, so it's just the one nice window instead of a couple of these pop-ups here. But the reality is, this is a massive step up for customers from email, and they absolutely love it. Always have. So if I move the little Zoom thing, which you probably can't see, so this is where they can do all of that, and you can customize the app and the client portal per client, per user, per agent. But when you come through, this is where you've got this one pane of glass now. So those main contacts or the users can have a look at, the main contacts can see all tickets. The users can come in here and see their tickets if they want. You've got onboarding and offboarding forms, and you can easily get there. The whole idea of what we were trying to do with this app, it's kind of like a launcher app to get to where they need to go to in one click, right? So rather than going to some
Sure.
convoluted portal, they get confused about, that actually reduces utilization. So they can come in here and click the button to the onboarding forms and, click on these forms. And that's examples of different branding that you can put depending on what situation. So they can sign off on the forms. So that's really cool. Then you've got all the reporting. So this is where you can put all this reporting. You can label it whatever you want. It's like WordPress. So you've got the licensing report that does a live sync of Azure AD. You've got the user report they can come in and have a look at. They can even have a look at the secure score report. So come and have a look at that. You probably just put that for the main contacts. That's really good. When I'm in those sales meetings, I say, do you know what your secure score is? Oh, I have no idea what it is. No one ever knows. Oh, well, it's got to be over, 70, 80 and that sort of range and that type of thing. So you've then got the warranty information now. So you've got the device report bringing in all the devices and then feeding it through the APIs to give you all the warranty stuff. So this is what they can see. And then I actually do a mini demo of how we do our audits. So this is the VCO Hero product. And this is where I'll explain it to them. And I'll say, look, we're going to do this traffic light gap analysis report. We'll go through that with you. You can see your current diagram, your proposed one, and all of this licensing, all that sort of stuff. And then the big way that we differentiate is, of course, using good, better, best to present recommendations. And I actually do say most MSPs only give you one option, or they give you a budget and then they just throw a quote to you and you expected to sign off on it. We're different. We help guide you through. There are always options. And we call it solution builder. And depending on what it is, you could be just retain to retain, or maybe if it's a new server you need, we could just put an extended warranty, or we buy a new one, or you go to the cloud or whatever it is. And it adds it up all for them. And we're basically using the buying psychology of good, better, best. So instead of just turning up and saying, here's a 25 grand quote, we're like, well, it could be 11, could be 25, could be 45. And it's the best one, which is the focuses on the premium buy. So you've got the budget conscious, middle of the road, and premium. Most people aren't premium in SMB. So essentially what's actually going on here, buying psychology wise, is it's what they call an anchor price to make the other two look more affordable. So in the buyer's mind, they're like, yeah, I'm not spending 45. You're like, good, okay. But it just makes 25 seem a lot better, as if you just gave that one number to someone. And once you've gone through that with them, then you can build out the roadmap, or the roadmap's there, and then you can change it or whatever it happens to be. And this is where I talk about to the customer, look, we're taking away the darkness from the IT support experience. We're going to make this so much easier for you to get access to that information. And again, one click to get to these VCIO reports. So super easy. We have little training bots that pop up as well as part of the app itself to train users. So as you're onboarding users, you don't constantly have to train them. So that's what the sort of CX side looks like. And then this is what the portal looks like now with all the 6 products. So I won't go into a full demo, but this is the example where you can come in here with Warranty Wizard, have a look at the dashboard. You can look at the client reports. So you've got the workstations and servers there. You can see which ones are out. This is obviously a little demo one we've got there. You can go to the client reports and you can do a PDF report to someone, or you can look at an advanced report. So,
Nice.
so you can go in here and look at all this sort of stuff. Which is fantastic. And then, producing a PDF report is really just one click you can do there, which is fantastic. So if I click it, it'll just download. You click on the report and it's fully branded for your branding. And
Nice.
quick as that, you can produce a report that you can send to them. So we're going to be doing more stuff around monthly reporting later in the year. There's potentially another product there that we'll be launching. And you've also got the sort of sales reports too. So you want to make sure, look, if anyone doesn't know, the VCO QBR process is, a lot of people think that it's just a compliance thing. It's a best practice. Well, it is. But at the end of the day, if you really understand it, it is a sales pipeline of things clients need, right? And so the best part, the thing that you should do is focus on the clients that obviously need the most things. This is just a focus point on the devices, but it's that concept of putting it in a order of who requires the most first, and going out and having those conversations and being sales efficient, using sales compression to get clients to make buying decisions faster, and going through that process, solving problems along the way, not selling things they don't need. I do want to make that clear. So Alert Centric, super cool. This is where you've got basically it's the portal, the product. We obviously bought it, but and we've integrated it into our system. So if you get a license for us, it's all integrated through our menu. And this is where you can come in and set up your backup jobs or any alert jobs in here. Again, it's not just backup, it's anything that produces an alert. You can then start reporting on it daily. And so super easy to set up these reports, come in here and configure what the job is, and basically the way our system works is you replace the email address with the email generated by each of these these jobs. On the backup job itself, it sends the emails through to our system, and then that's how we're able to read everything and spit out the daily report in that
I
sense.
gotcha.
So
Makes
that works
sense.
really well. Then you've got Time Master, so that's accessed through our app IT control panel. So I'll just bring up this, so probably helpful, / Time Master. So all of our products, you just go / the name, or go in here and have a look at the products. So this is what it looks like now. So you can come in and go into our app IT control panel, click the Time Master logo, and this is where you can come in and have a either select 2 months that you just want to share. You can do invite who you like to the meeting. You can snap the time, 15, 30, 60. You can do Teams, Zoom, Outlook, message body, location. So that's one option. The other option is, of course, the just sharing a particular day and sharing a proposed few hours of that day that you might want to meet them. So you might want to do it that way. And on the other end, the customer basically gets an email. They then go in, select the time in your branded portal. Once they select the time, it then dispatches the emails and calendar invites and updates the ticket, etc. So really great little system there for managing time and stopping the ping pong match. You've got CSAT we've had for a while under HappySat. And then you've got the MPS product now. So this is the new one that we've added there. So now you can produce your MPS reports. You can email them out. You can have them in the body of the tickets. So this is where you really get an understanding of what your ongoing net promoter score is in that sense. So really interesting. Probably not the best example there, because given that they're all promoters, but yeah, so it'll calculate all of that and give you a result, which is cool. VCAO, you've basically seen the front end of that. That's where you create your audits and do your presentations and that type of thing. And then, of course, you've got the Invarosoft CX product. So you've got all the support app, you've got news, you've got all the apps you can use there, which are these apps at the bottom here. You can have 2 rows of 6. So basically, it just helps make your service a bit stickier. And you've got the self-service bots, you've got training bots, you've got smart engineer bots, so we can put information in the ticket for your engineers, so notes to articles and things like that. My MSP uses that a fair bit. And then you've got the IT control panel app, so that's where you can actually do things like live chat, identity security, secure messaging, all through this technology, which is really cool. So that's the portal. What do you think?
I love it. I'm excited to try the other products in there. I have been using Invarosoft with my MSP for several months now, and we love it. It's a game changer as far as entering tickets, working with the clients. It's just so nice to have the client enter the ticket.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and they do appreciate it, just making it easy. And a lot of people go, oh, but my clients won't do it. Yeah, they will.
They
If they
will.
can use their iPhone or Android, you've just got to make the decision. The key to utilization, there's a few things. You need to have the app that's simple. You need to consider your support channels. Most people don't talk about it, but the reality is if you keep email on the table, it just hurts the utilization. So over time, you just got to look at fading it away so that you're just saying, look, this is a better digital way of doing it. And my MSP, again, we're a bit bigger than most in the SMB space and zero problem. Exactly the same clients as everybody else, non-profits, non-technical users all over the place, and they have zero problem with it. So
Yep.
yeah, it's just a mindset thing on the MSP owner's perspective. But yeah, so there you go. But I guess just bearing in mind time, the key thing to understand with all of this, so it's great that we've got all these products, but we've done things differently. And we've created these stack saver bundles so that you can either buy the products individually or you can buy them in bundles, because we know that everybody wants to have, you want to get more value than what you're paying for on these individual tools, and we understand that. And so that's how we're going to be able to provide some value. So we can, across the tool sets that we compete against, we should be able to save you at least 50% of your stack costs across the range. So if you have a look at them, the warranty wizard is there. You've got alert center, so that's the first bundle. So if you're using ScalePad, those 2 products there, basically for the price of one, you can get the 2 products there. Then you've got the second bundle, which has got Time Master and HappySat. The fourth one, a third one with VCO here, and the fourth with CX. And so if you looked at that, this is the kind of example of the pricing. So it's really affordable. We do have a special deal going on as part of this webinar today, which I'll show you in a second. But the whole idea is that you should be saving straight out of the gate if you start to consolidate. So month-to-month licensing. So really simple. So who does it suit? Well, if you're not using all the features of these other products that you're using and you feel like I'm kind of overpaying, then start to consolidate down into our platform. If you're paying too much for these products, if you feel, certainly with monopolies across the board in all industries, when there is a monopoly, the consumer doesn't really have much control over how the price goes. The price can just keep increasing. You have your two options are use the thing or don't use it, and that's really your option. So that's not a good place to be as a buyer. And so sometimes prices will go up and they'll provide features that you don't really want, and now you're paying for things you didn't want. So if you're in that bucket, then come and see us. And certainly if you prefer month to month, that's what we do. We want to earn your business every day. We don't want to lock you in, and we figure if it's adding value, you'll keep using it. If it's not, you won't. So that's kind of how that works. And this is the deal we've got for you, Scott. You wrangled me down. I felt oh, it was exhausting, but we got there. But yeah, so basically we've got this ITBOG deal, and yeah, approximately, because it's a different licensing. That's why it's an approximate number, but it's about a 20% discount. So you're getting the enterprise for premium, free onboarding, first 3 months, 50% off, and that offer ends end of September. So there's sort of lifetime offers there. There's a deal code there called you just type in buy now, and to take advantage of that, you can just go to signup.invarosoft.com. If you want to do a demo beforehand, you want to really dig into it a little bit more, you've probably got a few questions. And of course, go to invarosoft.com/book demo. And if you don't want to do either of those and you just want to ask us a question, then of course, go to sales@invarosoft.com. So trying to make it easy for you to get the information. Happy to share how it all works and whatnot, and what the potential investment would be for you and how much you can save. So that's my little presentation today, Scott. What do you think?
Very nice, Jamie. You always do a great job at your presentations. I can tell you have studied and worked really hard to pull all this off. So it's very evident, very clear. I love the platform. We love what you're doing at Invarosoft. So we're excited about the next one. You said just a minute ago that they've got some other products on the horizon that you're looking
Yep.
at
Yeah, one of them
releasing. So.
I'm going to keep a secret, but the other one, but they're definitely the monthly reporting side of things. I think again, it's not a monopoly, but there's probably an oligopoly on that space, and they're good options, but it could be better. And so we want to provide another option there so that you can basically dispatch a monthly report and send out a that integrated with all the systems we're talking about, and just make it easy.
Nice.
Just make it easy so you can show that visible value. You can see the connection with the customer experience piece that we're doing there in that sense. So we've got that product and probably 2 more products that we want to bring to market. And I will say that those products will all be squeezed into the second bundle. So they won't be increasing price. They will just be adding these bundles to make them even more valuable, so that you're just getting, it's like the Swiss Army knife of things,
Wow.
except a Swiss Army knife where you actually use the stuff that's in it. In that sense.
The Swiss Army knife of customer experience.
Correct. There you go. Yep.
Awesome. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a real pleasure. It's always fun to sit down with you and learn what the team at Invarosoft is coming up with, and what's new. So that's
Absolutely.
awesome.
All right. Well, look, thanks so much for your time, Scott. Look forward to speaking to anybody that's interested. Wish you all continued success in your businesses.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.